You know that feeling when you finally see $100,000 in your bank account. It's exciting, maybe even a little surreal. You tell yourself, I made it. I'm safe. But here's the uncomfortable truth. $100,000 is not the finish line. It's a crossroads. Because most people, the second they hit that number, make the exact same mistake, and it quietly eats their wealth over the next decade. I want to show you the smartest move you can make the moment you hit $100,000. Not generic advice, not motivational fluff. Real math, real strategy. Let's start with a story. 10 years ago, a friend of mine, let's call him David, hit $100,000 in his savings. Solid job, frugal lifestyle, all the right boxes checked. He celebrated, took a nice trip, maybe bought a new car. Then he did what almost everyone does. He parked it in a standard savings account. Feels safe, right? Except he was losing money. Slowly, quietly, year after year. Why? Inflation. At 3% per year, $100,000 loses about $3,000 of real purchasing power every year. In 10 years, that's $30,000 gone without touching a dime. David didn't even realize it. He felt rich, and yet he was slowly poorer. Now imagine if you don't just want to survive. Imagine if you want to turn $100,000 into $500,000 or $1 million without taking insane risks. The first uncomfortable truth is this. Your money doesn't grow by sitting still. Here's how the system works. Banks pay interest. Not much, maybe 0.5% to 2% in a decent account. Meanwhile, inflation eats 3% per year. Do the math. You're losing money by being safe. So where do you go next? Some people talk about the stock market. Sounds simple. Buy an index fund, wait 30 years, retire rich. But here's the catch. Markets are messy. They crash, sometimes violently. If you put your $100,000 in stocks and hit a bear market tomorrow, a lot of that wealth disappears. Temporarily or permanently, depending on your reactions. Here's the irony. The more you try to play it safe, the more you're exposed to hidden losses you can't see. Inflation, opportunity cost, taxes, they all gnaw at you quietly. This is where most advice fails. It's either too cautious, keep your money in a savings account, or too aggressive. Invest everything in crypto or stocks. Neither works well at the $100,000 stage. That's where strategy matters. Step 1. Protect against erosion. Think about it like this. You wouldn't leave $100,000 in a leaky bucket. You need a container that keeps your money from leaking. High-yield accounts, treasury bonds, short-term government securities. Not glamorous, not flashy, but they preserve your power. Step 2. Make your money work for you without relying on luck. Here's the uncomfortable math. If you invest in a balanced portfolio, half stocks, half bonds, adjusted for fees and inflation, you might net 5% per year. That's $5,000 in the first year. Not life-changing, but compounding starts quietly. By year 10, that same $100,000 can grow to $162,000. That's the power of patience plus math. Step 3. Leverage hidden systems most people ignore. I'm talking about tax advantage accounts, employer matching, and certain debt strategies. For example, a $100,000 cash reserve can unlock investment opportunities that aren't accessible with $10,000. Lenders, brokers, and even some private deals treat you differently once you reach that level. That's invisible power. Step 4. Understand timing and risk. This is where most people stumble. You see a hot stock tip or a shiny investment. The temptation is huge. But the smartest move isn't to chase hype. It's to use $100,000 as a pivot. You can take calculated risks because you have a cushion that absorbs mistakes without derailing your life. Let's zoom out. Most people think $100,000 means freedom. The reality? It's a launch pad. The decisions you make at this stage determine whether you stay here, grow quietly, or lose ground to inflation, taxes, and bad choices. Consider this. $100,000 in 1990 had the buying power of about $215,000 today. Someone who saved without investing, just parked in cash, lost more than half their potential wealth in real terms. Those who use strategy and timing multiplied their wealth. Here's a subtle irony. $100,000 is enough open doors, but only if you don't fall for the easiest, most comforting choices. So what should you actually do? Step by step, the moment you hit $100,000, split your cash. Keep an emergency reserve in liquid assets. Allocate another portion to investments that preserve and grow in real terms. Balance portfolios, bonds, dividend stocks. Leverage your financial position to access deals, credit, and opportunities you couldn't touch at $10,000. Avoid flashy hype. $100,000 is not a reason to go all in on one trendy asset. Constantly reassess. Inflation, markets, and personal goals change. Your plan must adapt. Think about it. A single misstep here can cost you tens of thousands over a decade. A smart, deliberate move can multiply your $100,000 into a figure that feels almost absurdly large 10 years from now. Here's the thing. We often focus on the big milestones, $1 million, $5 million. But it's the $100,000 decision that quietly determines whether those milestones are reachable. It's a leverage point, and yet almost no one talks about it because it's subtle, invisible, not sexy. So I'll leave you with this. Hitting $100,000 is not a moment to celebrate blindly. It's a moment to pause, assess, and act deliberately. The real question is this. Will you let your $100,000 sit quietly as it slowly loses value? Or will you make it the pivot that shapes your financial life for decades? The choice isn't obvious, and the consequences are far bigger than most people realize. Think about that next time you check your balance.